does this morning. When I first stepped aboard her decks in late summer of 2011, I have to admit that my heart sank. Iowa's main mast was in pieces on the fantail, rust streamed from her hull, rainwater seeped through her decks, and her once mighty guns hung in silence. After more than 20 years of retirement, she was just a shadow of her former self. At the same time, I was part of a small group of people who saw something much different when they looked at Iowa. They looked beyond the rust, they looked beyond her quiet passageways and decayed decks, and instead, you saw her as you see her today. As far back as 2009, only 2 years before Battleship Iowa was released from the Navy, you, the Battleship Iowa plank owners, began pledging your support for the vision of a new duty station for this iconic ship. And you provided the investment that began to transform that vision into a reality. By 2011, when a dozen or so volunteers tied Iowa up alongside a lone Willie wharf at the former site of the World War II Kaiser shipyard in Richmond, California, her refurbishment appeared to be an almost insurmountable task. Our major funding had not yet arrived. We had no lights, we had no tools, we had very few volunteers. Yet we knew that the common passion and vision that we shared would carry us through. In time, that pool of volunteers in Richmond swelled as more people learned of the project. By early 2012, more than 200 volunteers were working night and day to prepare Iowa for her San Pedro home. Interest became so strong that by the time she departed Richmond, in excess of 25,000 hours of volunteer work had been recorded. At roughly the same time, in the parking lot behind you, more than 200 plank owners gathered together and committed to the vision of a new home for Iowa. This group of plank owners made their pledges of time and treasure, matching the efforts underway 400 miles to the north. Today, you can look behind me and see fresh paint, glossy brass hardware, brightly colored service ribbons, and signal flags flying proudly above. Today, thanks to you, Iowa is again a proud beacon of freedom, liberty, and service to our nation.